Listen, majors are great, obviously, but there's a tournament that holds a special place in the hearts of CS fans, Katowice. Yes, this past weekend, the Spodek saw a new champion crowned, a new challenger emerge, and one of the most heartfelt speeches in esports history delivered. It was an incredible weekend that we won't soon forget, but even though the GOAT didn't pick up any silverware, I think it's fair to say that his contribution may have been even more important. Let's dive in. Hey guys, before we get into the video, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help, and I love doing Counter-Strike content on this channel. It lets us know what's working with you guys, so thanks a lot. So this weekend saw the 6 remaining teams at Katowice vie for the tournament's $400,000 grand prize on LAN at the Spodek Arena. But it's always meant a lot more than just the prize pool. With everything that Katowice has contributed to CS, it's almost like it's the people's major. And while the team names were of course familiar, Faze, G2, Navi, some of the lineups weren't. Faze Clan were forced to play the tournament with JKS as a stand-in, first for ROPS during the group stage and then for Rain during the playoffs. Both players had positive COVID tests, which prohibited them from participating, but as far as I've heard, they both seem to be doing okay. And while their Aussie stand-in had been without a job since the collapse of the Complexity roster, Kerrigan did a great job of integrating him into this lineup, getting him doing whatever needed to be done for the team to succeed. Sometimes that was fragging, but a lot of the times, between twists, ROPS, and Brokey, it wasn't. ROPS in particular had some incredible moments under pressure.
The B bomb site says, we've stopped you here so much in this comeback. You have to go back towards A, but that's crumbling as well.
Ops is in a huge amount of trouble. He's gonna try and take matters into his own hands. Couldn't find the second shot fast enough, but Jax, he drops in. Oh, talk about an Estonian. Oh, talk about a superstar. Talk about the elite. Rops is on a romp, and we're going to overtime, baby.
Instead, JKS had that most elusive of stand-in performances, slotting into a roster and, if you can forgive my Canadianism, getting her done, bud.
Fast pace towards Banana, the play has been called. Hunter's gonna turn that corner, JKS has got him. Huddled behind, another flashbang from Kerrigan. Utility starting to be impactful. JKS starting to be impactful. And this round is all but done.
And while the Grand Finals box score says 3-0, it was about the closest 3-0 that you can expect in Counter-Strike. Inferno went to overtime after Faze recovered from a 15-7 deficit. Yeah. After Faze took map 1, the two teams had to play 58 rounds of Mirage to decide it. Faze took that one and closed it out with a 16-14 nail-biter on Dust 2. Dimitri, wherever you are right now, I hope you're doing okay after watching so much Mirage. Anyways, it was exciting Counter-Strike and a reminder that as things begin to open up and some of these new rosters are tested, there's a lot of potential for surprises in competitive CS. Faze's Brokey won his first ever MVP award for his performance at this tournament. And if he can maintain that level of play, I think Faze could definitely be a podium mainstay for the foreseeable future. Sure, there's a lot of firepower on this team, no one is denying that. And they have Kerrigan, a canny IGL with a reputation for exploiting teams in the map veto. But if you're a Faze fan, they've had both these things before. Been there, done that. Instead, it's not just that they have great pieces. Again, they've had those before. It's that they're fitting together very well, even in very difficult circumstances. There's a lot to be excited about if you're a Faze fan. But if you hear that little voice in the back of your mind whispering the word consistency, I can't say I blame you. And their Grand Finals opponents also have reason to hope. G2 Esports' decision to sign m0NESY pretty much speaks for itself at this point. The results have been very strong. And they defeated Virtus.pro and Navi on their way to Grand Finals without dropping a map. Pretty impressive stuff. I'm not sure a lot of people would describe the decision to sign m0NESY as a gamble. He seemed poised to break out imminently, but at the same time, putting a promising prospect on your roster is absolutely no guarantee of success in Counter-Strike. G2 Esports showed great results at this tournament, and their rookie was an important piece of that puzzle. But even more exciting is that this is just the very beginning of m0NESY's story, and he's going to get to develop on a roster with plenty of resources sitting next to one of the greatest players in Counter-Strike, Nico. I'm a massive stan of French CS, and so the next thing that I'm about to say will be deeply painful, but I don't think this roster has even come close to touching their ceiling, and I think if they can continue to develop, they will be the best version of G2 that we've seen so far. I think there are understandably some questions about how this roster will develop, particularly with Alexi B at the IGL position. Their map veto basically had them subsisting on a diet of Mirage, Inferno, and Dust 2, and they played all of those maps against Faze, and they didn't win any of them. But with m0NESY and Nico teaming up on this roster, it feels like this could be the dawn of a new age for G2.
Mentioning m0NESY as well, 16 years old, this is by far the biggest stage he's ever been on. How cool, how calculated, how good was he in that first map?
He's insane. Like, I knew it, if he gets a good start, he will shine. Like, I know that the crowd will push him even more. Like, once he does some crazy play, like, he will just keep going. Like, he will not stop, and he didn't stop on Mirage at all. So I'm really happy that he put up such a performance. I'm really happy and proud of him.
Finally, we have Navi, a team that struggled with illness at this tournament, but also something more. Simple is, quite frankly, the greatest Counter-Strike player ever, and he was playing this tournament while his home country of Ukraine was being invaded by the Russian military. Even with his team racked by illness and the tragedy unfolding across the border to the east, Simple gave a historic speech in support of solidarity and peace between all humans.
And all of us want peace for Ukraine and for whole world. All of us scared. And we all need to stay humans first. So thank you everyone who came. I hope you will enjoy this tournament.
Listen, Navi reached semifinals, but I think it's fair to say that this was not their typical tournament. They'll be back, they'll be hungry, and it's quite possible they'll be the final boss for some time. And the organization's contribution to esports domestically in Ukraine has been substantial. Long before Astralis were eating pancakes with the mayor of Copenhagen, Ukrainian players were getting blinged out with watches from the Ukrainian Prime Minister in 2010. More recently, President Zelensky congratulated the team on Twitter for their major win in November. And this is certainly one of the only countries on the planet where national leadership has been paying attention to esports, as Zelensky said in this tweet, for decades. So yeah, while many organizations have some sort of legacy national affiliation that's either played up or perhaps ignored, Navi has been an important part of Ukraine for a long time. And seeing Simple speak on the situation was not only moving, but may be a historical moment in esports. And as an aside, from all of us here at theScore, our heart goes out to all Ukrainians who are fleeing, in danger, or are worrying about an uncertain future as this conflict unfolds. So what did you guys think about Katowice? Personally, I was hoping for a much better performance from both Heroic and Gambit, but they both ran into Faze in the bracket. So can't feel too bad about that, I guess. Let me know in the comments below. We'll catch you next time.